Hi guys, this video would cover the revision of chapter 3 lean system and innovation. I've already uploaded the revisions of the first two chapters. People have been texting me continuously asking me to upload the revision videos quickly. Do not worry guys, I would be uploading revision video of all the theory concepts. Now the document that I'm using is just a summary of all the topics covered in this chapter. The document is available for download. Link would be as a part of the description of this video. Do not forget guys, videos are directly uploaded on the YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss any update, any video. Now this chapter lean system and innovation guys, they can also be a practical question from this, which is primarily based on just in time. Baki pura the entire chapter as such guys is mainly theoretical. Now this chapter is divided into two parts: lean system and innovation. Now we will discuss lean system first and then come to the concept of innovation. So under lean system also guys, we have just in time, we have Kaizen costing, we have 5S, we have total productive maintenance, cellular manufacturing and Six Sigma. Under innovation and BPR guys, you have process innovation and business process re-engineering. Undoubtedly there can also be a case study beta or a case scenario for 10 marks coming in the examination. Now what exactly is lean system guys? This is basic. You can obviously correlate to the word lean guys. When you say someone has a lean body as such, beta, you are basically telling that he does not have the there is no fat content in the body. Yes or no? Now when we use lean system in the manufacturing world, as such guys, we are basically talking about eliminating every non-value added activity, something that is not required to manufacture the product without compromising on the quality of the product, without compromising on the service or the value that is being delivered to the consumer. If you think a particular activity is not required, that should be eliminated. That exactly is lean system. It basically concentrates on waste minimization. Now again guys, beta, do not forget, if you are my student, if you've already attended my classes, open the main notes and refer to those notes along with this revision video. So coming back to this guys, so lean system basically talks about minimization of waste. You have to ensure that all the unnecessary activities are eliminated from your business so that you are able to provide a superior quality product to your customer at the least possible cost. A superior quality product is being delivered to the customer at the least possible cost. That is lean system. So there are various ways of minimizing waste. To understand those different ways of minimizing waste, let us understand what exactly are the types of waste that we are talking about. What are the types of waste that this lean system is targeting? Now there are different kinds of waste that you will see in an organization. First one is overproduction. If you manufacture inventory more than the requirement of the inventory as such guys, you will have to store that inventory. Investment blocked will result in cost of funds, and any cost of funds undoubtedly is a loss. Imagine your sales are only 10,000 units, but then you manufacture 40,000 units. Your investment is blocked. If your investment is blocked guys, undoubtedly you will end up losing money on those blocked funds. So that the inventory being manufactured more than the amount of sales, undoubtedly guys, is a wasteful investment. Blocked is a waste which can be minimized. This does not add any value to the end consumer. Inventory as such guys, again, when we talk about inventory as such, better here, this is like the higher amount of inventory that is waiting in line as such guys, higher amount of units that are manufactured. Imagine process A manufactures 10,000 units, passes on to process B, but process B is still manufacturing the first lot. So all of these 10,000 units have to wait as such guys. All of these 10,000 units have to wait. Even that is a wasteful resource. Unnecessary investment blocked as such guys. Waiting as such, but a third concept here is, imagine guys that process B is already ready to take up some work, but process A did not transfer goods yet to process B. You did not streamline your manufacturing process. Process B did not receive any input yet from process A. Again, that is a wasteful of resource. You are continuously paying salaries as such guys, and so there is some kind of wastage being resulted here. Better. Next is motion and transportation. Motion is about the movement of people and equipments within the factory guys, and transportation is movement of inventory within the factory. If department A is to one corner, department B is to the other corner, department C is to some other corner, you have to move inventory from department A to department B, then from department B to department C. All of this movement of inventory data is also waste. It is not adding any value to the end consumer. Likewise, if a worker has to move from one part of the factory to the other part, the equipment has to be continuously moved from one part to the other part. Even that is a wasteful resource. It will not add any value to the end consumer. If you are not manufacturing the perfect quality products right first time as such, guys, and because of which you will have to rework on the defective units manufactured. Even that is a waste being generated in the process. Even that is a waste that is being generated in the process, better. And finally, guys, over processing, adding more features to the product as such, guys, or something that is not required. You are working way too much on the product than what is actually required. We have learned this, guys, in the previous chapter also, modern business environment, that there are few concepts of quality that can be compromised on. Exactly what this also says, that something that is not required, you do not have to deliver that to the consumer. Please deliver what is required, what is adding value to the end consumer. There is also an 8th type of waste, guys, that is not included in your ICI study material, that is underutilization of employees. You know, a particular employee beta is capable of doing a lot of things, but then that employee is not being given that role. That employee is being given lower level roles as such, guys, or something that he's not good at. So that also beta is an unnecessary waste. So lean system beta is basically targeting all of this. Lean system will ensure that your equipments are properly utilized, not necessarily fully utilized, or there is lesser movement of people, lesser movement of equipment, lesser movement of inventory. You do not manufacture way too much inventory. You manufacture only what is required. You do not stock raw materials. All of these concepts beta would come under lean system, with an objective of minimizing waste without compromising on the quality of the product, without compromising on the value that will be added to the consumer. So this is what this chapter is targeting, removing all of these waste. Now, guys, lean system methods, whatever lean system methods that we spoke about, beta, your Kaizen costing, just in time, guys, 5S, total productive maintenance, all of them beta are based on certain principles. They say, guys, you should manufacture perfect quality product first time. If you manufacture perfect quality product first time, you do not have to worry about rework from defects. You are obviously ensuring that you do not end up resources on those defective products being manufactured. It says you will have to minimize waste in every aspect of the organization. You will have to minimize waste in every aspect of the organization. It is something better that has to be on a continuous basis, and there should be flexibility of operations. Flexibility of operations क्यों आता है बेटा? Because say if you want to manufacture only what is required by the end consumer, you should be flexible enough. If you are receiving last minute orders, you should be able to incorporate that in your production schedule, manufacture that and deliver to the end consumer. If I receive a customer order beta say on 12th of September and the customer is asking me to deliver the product on 15th of September, I should be able to do that. My operations should be flexible enough. So all your lean system methodologies as such beta would concentrate on you manufacturing the right quality product. It is a continuous improvement process, and then guys, your operations should be flexible and the waste should be minimized to the extent possible. Lean manufacturing, guys, will aim for zero waiting time. There should not be any waiting between one operation to the other operation. You should not maintain any inventory. You should procure raw material only when it is required. You should manufacture finished product only when it is required to be delivered to the end consumer. Do not have investment blocked in inventory. Do not have unnecessary inventory lined up between processes. And guys, it works on pull processing. Pull processing, guys, we have learned under supply chain also. Pull processing better here means based on actual demand. Based on actual demand, guys, from the end customer, guys, your manufacturing activity will be undertaken so that you do not stock up inventory. So that you do not stock up inventory, guys. There has to be a continuous flow of production. Continuous flow of production is very important as such, guys, to eliminate wastages during the production process. There will not be unnecessary movement of inventory. There will not be unnecessary movement of equipment and people. Continuous finding ways of reducing process time. Keep working on reducing the overall time required to reduce the manufacturing time of the product without compromising on the quality of the product. This is all about lean system. So yes, beta, a quick recap. Lean system says we have to minimize waste without compromising on the quality of the product, without compromising on the value that is to be delivered to the end customer. For that, we have different types of waste. I spoke about overproduction. I spoke about inventories being held. I spoke about waiting time between operations. I spoke about the movement of inventory, movement of people, guys, and then, guys, we spoke about the reworks from defects, over processing, and underutilization of employees. Then we spoke about what are the principles of your lean system, guys. I said they all work towards minimizing waste, continuous improvement, guys, flexibility of operations, perfect first time quality product. And then yeah, you do not want any waiting time between operations. You do not want inventory being piled up. It is all based on pull system of processing. There has to be a continuous flow of production. You should continuously aim at finding new ways of manufacturing the product, reducing the overall time that is required to manufacture the product. Now the very first one, guys, that is very, very important for your examination also is just in time. Remember, this can come as a practical question also. What is just in time, guys? Just in time as such beta is basically a lean system methodology beta, which says that you should have components being delivered to the company only when they are required, as well as you should manufacture inventory only when it is required to be delivered to the consumer. Just in time, there are two aspects beta here. We have just in time, if you look at this beta, we have just in time purchasing, we have just in time production. There's just in time purchasing, there is just in time production. Just in time production says pull system, guys. Of course, this is entirely pull system. When you say pull system, based on the actual demand from the consumer, you will undertake the manufacturing activity. Based on that, you will actually place orders with your suppliers as such, guys. Receive raw materials only to the extent required to manufacture those items, and then deliver those items to the end consumer, guys. That is just in time system. That is just in time system. Remember, just in time system cannot be followed in every industry as such beta. We will be learning about prerequisites of just in time in some time. But हाँ, just in time का मतलब वही है. As of now, understand that we will manufacture inventory only to the extent required, and will also procure raw material only to the extent required. What are the key elements of just in time? Understanding these key elements of just in time will give you a perfect picture of the entire just in time framework, guys. The very first point beta here is raw materials should be delivered on the exact date and time that is required. Raw materials should be delivered, guys, on the exact date and time it is required. I want to manufacture certain products. Now I need raw material. Raw material should be received only at this point. Raw material should be directly delivered to the production floor. Because we are trying to eliminate the entire inventories as such, guys, obviously you will not have stores in your company as such better. You may not have store department at all. You may not have end warehouses at all, because you are not maintaining inventory. So raw material will be directly delivered better to the production floor. You will not have any concept of inspection of raw material, guys. You will have to ensure that your supplier is providing you top-notch quality raw material. If something goes wrong with that raw material as such beta, the raw materials are defective, you will end up manufacturing defective product. You will have to rework those defectives. You will not be able to meet the customer demand on time. So remember, raw material supplier selection plays a very important role. This also means, guys, this also means that your engineering staff will visit the supplier site to improve the quality of raw material. You will have to ensure, because you are not inspecting raw material, guys. If you are not inspecting raw material should be of superior quality. It should be received on a timely basis. Yes or no, beta? You should be able to reduce your setup time. This is very important, guys, because under just in time you are undertaking manufacturing operations based on customer demands. Now if your operations are not flexible enough, as such, guys, then obviously you will not be able to incorporate last minute demands. I gave you the, if you try to recollect beta, in the live classes I gave you an example of a company which reduced its setup time from 24 hours to 1 hour, 24 hours to 90 minutes, sorry. They reduced their setup time from 24 hours to 90 minutes. Now when the setup time is only 90 minutes beta, you will be able to incorporate sudden changes in demand and manufacture as per customers' requirements. That is flexibility of operations. You are not eliminating longer production run and optimizing workflow. You are not manufacturing bulk inventories at once. You are manufacturing only the quantity that is required to be delivered. So there is no such thing called once you start a particular batch of production, you will manufacture 10,000 units and only then stop. Nahi beta. There are short production runs with shorter setup times. You will need proper information systems, guys, so that as and when you receive an order from your customer, that information is automatically passed on to your supplier. Koi physical calls walls nahi hote beta. Larger organizations, information is directly transferred, guys, to your supplier, so that he knows that you're in requirement of a particular component. I gave you the examples of how restaurants work, guys, in the live class, that once you receive an order, guys, electronic system mein, they do not go and hand over that kitchen order token in the kitchen, guys. Practically information systems are better. Automated system mein, once he updates, the kitchen will already know that an order has been received, and they will start manufacturing it. They'll start making it. Now during manufacturing process, product should be directly dropped off at the specific machine. This is what beta we says, create a proper manufacturing flow. There should not be unnecessary movement of products or inventories in the factory. So if department, a particular machine manufactures a product and the next process is on machine B, directly the product should be dropped off at machine B. Beech mein we will store here, we will store there. All of those unnecessary wastages are not required. Training employees to handle multiple machines. This also brings us to the concept of cellular manufacturing, guys. I will be talking about cellular manufacturing a little later, but understand, guys, if you want to optimize your production workflow, if you want to ensure that there is not unnecessary movement, guys, you will generally have, guys, a U-shaped manufacturing cells where there are multiple machines placed in this way, beta, so that one or two people only, beta, can handle all of these machines, and there will not be unnecessary movement. Unnecessary movement as such, beta, will not be there. So instead of having a separate packing department, instead of having a separate manufacturing department, instead of having a manufacturing department, instead of having, say, separate department 1, department 2, department 3, you will have all the machines that are required to manufacture a particular product in U-shaped, so that the entire manufacturing activity can be undertaken there only. That is why, beta, it says you should, usko cellular manufacturing bolte, beta, U-shaped manufacturing cells, cellular manufacturing. That is why, beta, it says you should train your employees to handle multiple machines and also ensure that they know how to perform preventive maintenance. Matlab, guys, when you use a bike, you should know how to perform basic maintenance of the bike. When I'm using a car, I should know how to change tire. Basic things should be known. Same thing, but I should train your employees so that they're not always dependent on the maintenance department. Preventive maintenance will ensure that the machines will have a better life, they will have a better output. Alterations in the support accounting systems, because you're undergoing all of these changes, obviously, guys, your supporting accounting systems would also need a change. So I hope you've understood better. These are the key elements of just-in-time. Directly purchasing raw material only at the time that it is required, directly delivery of raw material to the production floor as such, guys. Your engineering staff will visit your supplier, guys, to ensure that the quality product is being manufactured and delivered. Then setup time should be reduced. You do not have longer production runs as such, guys. You will need proper information systems to pass on the information to your supplier. And then, better, during manufacturing, the inventories should be directly dropped off at particular machines so that there is not unnecessary movement of inventories. You will have to train your employees to handle multiple machines. Now there's something called as a Kanban card, guys. Kanban card is a signal, guys, a virtual, basically, guys, it can be an electronic signal or a physical signal. It's like if the marketing department, guys, is receiving an order, they will intimate the packing department कि sir हमारे को इतना चाहिए. That intimation, guys, whether it is through an electronic card these days or through physical card, is called as Kanban card. Packing department will go back and tell the manufacturing department कि मेरे को इतना चाहिए. Manufacturing department will go back. Purchase department will obviously try to figure out how many units are required to procure so that this particular production can be undertaken. These are called as your Kanban card, the visual signals that you send down the entire flow as such, better. Working cells, I just told you, guys. Now, what exactly are the features of just-in-time? I hope you have understood what is just-in-time production, just-in-time procurement, and all of those key elements. Now, what exactly are the features of just-in-time production system? Now, undoubtedly, beta, your material handling cost will reduce. Why is your material handling cost reducing? You do not have a separate stores department. From stores department, you will transfer in small quantities to production department. No, beta, directly in small quantities, it is being dropped off at production department. No inspection of raw material. So undoubtedly, your material handling cost will reduce. Labor idle time will reduce, beta. You are obviously utilizing labor properly, beta, here. You are utilizing labor properly as such, guys, here. That is how we say, beta, that your labor idle time will reduce. You will not have too many workers. You will have skilled workers, guys, who possess those required skills, who can handle multiple machines as such, guys, simultaneously. Just in time creates urgency for eliminating defects as quickly as possible. Now, if you do not eliminate defects, guys, and if you manufacture a defective product and then go back again to rectify those defects, as I told you earlier, you will miss out on the deadline of delivering that product to the end consumer, That is why, as such, guys, you will have to ensure that you do not manufacture defective products at all. The company can respond to demand faster because you have flexibility of operations as such, guys. The setup time has been reduced. You are not manufacturing longer production runs. Obviously, guys, it will help you to respond to demand properly. Reducing the material receipt time. This is as good as reducing your material handling cost. Prerequisites of just-in-time system. What are the requirements? What are the essentials? When can you follow just-in-time system in your organization? You should not be dealing with way too many variety of goods, guys. If you deal with way too many variety of goods, guys, you will not be able to follow just-in-time. See, guys, it is about reacting to customers' needs at last minute. For that, you should have a limited menu as such, better. Limited menu of products. Okay, for a restaurant, limited menu. You should have limited products. Only then you will be able to cater to that last minute requirements. Demand should be relatively stable. In one particular season, if you have 10 lakh units demand, in the other season, if you have 10,000 units demand, how the hell will you be able to cater to those 10 lakh units? These cell phone, ceiling fan manufacturers, air conditioner manufacturers, guys, they start manufacturing during the normal rainy season, winter season, stock up inventories for the summer season, because they know they will never be able to meet customer demand if they manufacture only during summer season. So owing to the nature of the product should not be seasonal. Demand should be more or less stable throughout the year. Vendor reliability. What if your supplier does not supply the raw material, guys, at the right time? If the vendor is not supplying the raw material at the right time, obviously you will end up losing a lot of money. Good communication systems, guys, within the organization. If there are no good communication systems within the organization, that's what we say, but good information systems also. Obviously, guys, how will the information be passed on from one department to the other department? There are strict deadlines to be met here, guys, so there has to be proper communication systems. TQM, you obviously are working towards manufacturing a proper product better that does not have any defects. If you are manufacturing defective products as such, guys, again, just in time will not be successful. Defect free raw materials, preventive maintenance. What if at the last minute better there is machines breakdown and you have received a customer order? Will you be able to meet that demand? Nahi. So there has to be preventive maintenance and not breakdown maintenance. Preventive maintenance is keep checking your machines on a regular basis. Are they functioning properly or not? Keep greasing those vehicles. Get your machines serviced. Vehicles bol raha hu bar bar. Get it serviced. I hope you have understood, guys. So ultimately, beta, you have understood that your just-in-time prerequisites of just-in-time are important. Key elements are also. So ultimately, beta, you must have understood that just-in-time will help you in reducing the waste in an organization, help you in reducing overhead cost. Undoubtedly, your overheads like inspection cost, storage of materials, material handling cost. It will help you in better product pricing also, guys, because if you are able to deliver the product on a timely basis and you're able to deliver a higher quality product to the consumer, you will be able to charge a higher price. It is reducing your waste, it is reducing your overhead cost. It will also help you in pricing your product properly because of timely delivery and better quality. You will be able to charge a premium. How are we supposed to measure performance in just in time? Again, beta, important, ध्यान से सुनना. How are we supposed to measure performance in just in time? Do not track machine utilization. If you are telling us that this machine has been utilized only to the extent of 50% and not 100%, if you want to utilize 100% machine, you will end up accumulating inventory. The whole objective of implementing just in time was to ensure that inventory is not accumulated. The number of units manufactured by each employee should not be tracked. अरे ये इतना ही क्या. What if an employee starts manufacturing, guys, more than what is required only because you're tracking his performance based on number of units? Won't that result in accumulation of inventory? Labor efficiency does not matter, beta. Do not track labor efficiency and tell them that you took more time to manufacture a product. If it's taking more time to manufacturing a product, it is okay. What is more important? Quality, not the time that is taken to manufacture the product. So if you tell him, nahi, is supposed to take less time, and what if he does not manufacture the right quality product? So this, do not track machine utilization, number of units manufactured by each employee, and labor efficiency variance. What can we consider? We can always consider inventory turnover ratio. Now you will wonder, sir, there's no inventory, no turnover only. Negligible amount of inventories will be there, better. Companies which have implemented just in time, they have seen their inventory turnover ratio increase from 2 to 70, 80 times. Increase in inventory turnover ratio means they hardly have any inventories maintained. Setup time reduction. Obviously, guys, your setup time should reduce. The number of customer complaints should be very less. The amount of scrap that is being generated should be very less. What is the amount of cost that you're incurring on quality, cost of good performance, cost of good quality, poor quality, customer service, ideas that are generated? You can take all of these aspects into consideration to evaluate the performance. This is all about just in time. The accounting system that we follow under just in time, guys, is called as backflushing or backflush accounting. Now, backflush accounting means do not pass all the accounting entries till the trigger points are, till the points are triggered. There are particular points. Usually, you'll have 3 trigger points. When you purchase raw material, you will record all the entries. Next, when materials are issued, when labor is consumed on manufacturing the end product, no accounting entries. Only once you manufacture finished product as such, guys, all the accounting entries will be passed. So kya hota hai beta, practically the minute they manufacture product, they will enter into the system, 1000 units manufactured. Now based on that standard cost, based on bill of material, based on a detailed list of materials that are required to manufacture the product, system will automatically pass consumption entries. समझ में आ रहा है? Which means if you want to follow backflush accounting, you will have to ensure that the productions are reported properly and any amount of abnormal wastages are reported properly, because systems are still recording cost only as per standards. So if there's any amount of abnormal loss, it has to be reported properly in the system. And then guys, your inventory balance as per books will not match with the actual inventory balances, because there is no continuous recording. You're recording that beta say once in a day, at the end of every day when the inventory is manufactured. So these are the issues that you might see beta in backflush accounting. In class beta, remember we did 2 or 3 practical questions also on this, guys. We passed accounting entries, guys, based on backflush accounting. You can go through all of those questions once. So this was about just in time, guys. I hope you've understood as to what is just in time. Okay. Coming to the next concept beta, here is Kaizen costing. Kaizen costing का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? Kaizen costing beta is you changing for better, continuous improvement. Continuous, Japanese word beta is Kaizen. Change for better beta, continuous improvement. Kaizen costing is all based on the concept beta that value analysis, value engineering may not always result in 100% savings. There'll always be a scope for improvement. Kaizen costing says do not set very big targets, set smaller targets. As such, guys, say I want to save a cost of 1% in this month, I want to save a cost of 0.2% this month, 0.3%. Smaller targets that are easier to achieve as such beta. Period by period, month by month, week by week, the savings might be very small, but if you look at the cumulative savings over time as such beta, it would contribute heavily to the organization. That is Kaizen costing. Change for better, continuously improve. Not always beta value analysis, value engineering will result in 100% improvement. There'll always be a scope for improvement. So set very small targets, period by period they will be very small, but cumulatively, guys, it would make a huge impact. So your principles, guys, of Kaizen costing says that gradual improvements in the existing situation at an acceptable cost. Improve gradually, guys, at an acceptable cost. Collective decision making and application of knowledge. Not one person beta. Everyone should be involved in this. Beta in this improvement process. The floor manager, guys, the worker who's involved in manufacturing activity might give you certain suggestions, might give you certain ideas by which beta you will be able to save cost. There is never any limit, guys, to the amount of improvement that can be achieved. That is what I told you beta, that there's always a scope for improvement. It involves setting standards and continuously improving those standards. It is not just about ensuring that the actuals are aligned with the standards. Keep questioning your standards. It's like this beta. You want to study for 14 hours a day, so you set a target of 8 hours. Next day beta you do it for 8 hours 15 minutes, next day you do it for 8 hours 30 minutes. जैसे लोग exercising में भी करते हैं बेटा, they say they exercise for 20 minutes, then they exercise for 22 minutes, 24 minutes. They gradually change it. You might not feel the difference beta every day, but then when you look back beta, you've seen that there has been a dramatic change. Focus on eliminating waste, improving systems, and improving productivity. Please involve all the employees in all the areas of the business. So far beta under lean system, we have spoken about just in time, and then we have spoken beta about Kaizen costing. The next aspect beta that we have is 5+. I told you beta, workplace organization method. बहुत ही simple है beta. Very, very simple, guys. 5S. Now 5S, guys, is all about how are you organizing your workplace. I told you many examples in the classroom, like how can you organize your study room, how can you organize your desk in the office. All of that is 5S, 5S organization method. I also told you what are the practical difficulties in implementation of 5S, how organizations have failed, matlab real life mein, because one thing cannot suit all the employees. Usme I told you there are a lot of difficulties faced practically. But anyways, guys, this 5S means sort. Say if I want to organize my stores department, for example, it says sort out first what is required, what is not required. Remove all the unnecessary things. It's like what we do on Diwali or Ugadi as such, guys. Once we will go through all our things and say, okay, this is not required, this can be thrown out, this is required. After sorting as such, guys, set in order, arrange on the basis of importance. When you walk into your kitchen as such, guys, you'll always see salt and sugar beta are handy because those are frequently used. Yes or no, guys? So like that beta, stores may be better, that something that is frequently issued, guys, should be handy, should be something better that you can quickly resort to. When I'm sitting in front of the system as such, guys, obviously mouse will always be on the desk. Yes or no, guys? My notepad on which I take notes beta might be somewhere inside because I might not use it every day. So that is how you set things better. Set them. set them better, arrange them on the basis of importance. Shine as such better, keep cleaning your workplace on a daily basis, because if the workplace is not clean better, you would be distracted and that would affect the efficiency of the employees. Standardize as such guys, ensure that the best practices are implemented throughout the organization as such better, and you should be able to sustain them. You should be able to sustain them, matlab guys, it is not like one time cleaning, one time annual cleaning and you forget it. So yes, first identify what is important, what is not important, eliminate the unimportant things. Then among the necessary things also guys, arrange them in the order of importance. Keep cleaning your workplace on a daily basis as such guys, and then better standardize the practices, and then ensure better that you are able to sustain it. One practical difficulty of FIRE better is that one technology or one methodology better might not be the best for each and every employee of the organization. That is one practical difficulty that people have seen. Iske related better, the case study that you normally see guys is about a CA firm sorting their files, how the file system can be managed better according to FIRE, or how better your home page of a website, what is important, what is not important, can be addressed as per FIRE, or how your desktop better, I gave example कि तुम्हारा जो working station होता है, your desktop, your laptop, how what important things should be on the desktop or the home screen of your mobile phone. All of that better is indirectly FIRE. Kitchen, mobile phone, everything is FIRE. So guys, we are done with just in time, we're done with KZN costing, we're done with FIRE. Now coming down to better total productive maintenance. What is total productive maintenance as such guys? Let me drink water, just a sec. Yes beta, so total productive maintenance guys, total productive maintenance का objective beta is to ensure that your machines work in top condition as such guys, to prevent any delay in manufacturing activity. The machines should be working better in top condition to prevent any delay better in manufacturing activities. You should maintain the integrity of production and quality systems. Now guys, we say better that there is one foundation, that is FIRE. You have to implement FIRE, and then better there are 8 pillars of total productive maintenance. Kuch nahi beta, total productive maintenance is all about ensuring that you do not face any delays because of your machines. Your machines always work in top condition. Not just machine guys, your employees as well as better your quality systems. The first one beta is autonomous maintenance. Autonomous maintenance guys, first pillar guys of total productive maintenance is autonomous maintenance. Train your employees guys who are working on the machine so that they perform the basic maintenance work, they clean the equipment every day. If any bolts are loose, they tighten it, they keep oiling the machine, whatever grease or tools are required, they keep doing it so that the machine is working smoothly as such beta. The machine is working smoothly. Planned maintenance, you should always have planned maintenance as such guys. Just say you have this my vehicle is due for service after every 10,000 kilometers or after every 3 months, 4 months. That is planned maintenance guys. By implementing planned maintenance, you will ensure that your machines do not break down. Focused improvement as such guys, as a part of total productive management guys, we have a scope of focused improvement. You should train your employees to identify areas where there can be improvement achieved. Smaller changes, smaller things better, through which you can improve the performance of the equipment or improve the entire manufacturing process. Early management guys, this is basically shortening the time that is required to manufacture guys and deliver a product in the market. Product development, scope for improvement there. Quality maintenance, you should be able to obviously better maintain the quality of the product guys. There should not be any compromise on the quality of the product. Education and training, train your employees. It is the most important aspect as such guys. Ensure that they're regularly trained in whatever new aspects are there. And this total productive maintenance should not be restricted only to productive systems, only to equipments or machines. It can also be done for office and administrative work. Also ensure guys that you give a lot of importance to the safety and the health of the employees. And take the society at large, that is environment, into consideration. These are the 8 pillars as such guys, 8 pillars of total productive maintenance guys. Performance measurement in TPM guys is very important. It has come in the examination many times. Overall equipment effectiveness guys, a practical question. Overall equipment effectiveness guys basically measures the effectiveness of a machinery. This is basically based on 3 aspects. Again, it talks about the availability of a machine, which will take breakdowns and everything into consideration. Was the machine 100% available or not? Then guys, it will take about performance of the machine into consideration. Is the machine manufacturing products or not? And the products manufactured, do they meet the specifications or not? So it is availability into performance ratio into quality ratio. Please do not forget to practice questions on overall equipment effectiveness. This is a performance measurement under TPM. Please do not forget. A world-class performance guys of OEE is 85%. Anything more than 85% beta, you are doing an amazing job. Less than 85%, yes, there's a scope for improvement. So yeah, total productive maintenance is all about ensuring that your equipments beta are in the right quality, are in a top condition, so that there are no delays as such, guys. Most important aspects beta यहाँ पे is autonomous maintenance and planned maintenance. Autonomous maintenance and planned maintenance, most important aspects. Obviously other things are also important, but among the 8 pillars, the first two ones are very, very important. Now, is there any connection between TQM and TPM? Undoubtedly, there's a connection between TQM and TPM. This has come as a comment beta for 2 marks in the examination. Is there any connection between TQM and TPM? Both of them beta would require involvement of all the workers of an organization. All the workers of an organization as such beta. Just say TPM bolta, you should not always rely on maintenance department. Why are you not teaching your basic production people only, guys, to undertake certain maintenance work? If my system is not working properly, I should know how to handle it better. Minor errors, I cannot keep calling the computer repair team for every small error here. That is autonomous maintenance, guys. Obviously, guys, won't you feel that need कि नहीं यार मेरे को भी आना चाहिए सब? Implement that in your organization. And then beta, both of them would take a very long time for tangible benefits. For the benefits to be seen as such, guys, it will take a really long time. It is not something that will happen overnight. There is fundamental training of participants required. Everyone should be trained to ensure beta that they follow all of these principles, and there should be a commitment from top management. Unless and until the top management is committed towards it, guys, you will not see this drastic changes overnight. You will not see this drastic changes overnight. So guys, so far again beta, let me just say I've finished apna just in time as such beta. I finished Kaizen costing, I finished 5 years as such, guys, and then we finished total productive maintenance. Do not forget beta, this is a quick revision of the entire topic. This is not a replacement for the entire class. Please do not forget that as such, guys, because there are a lot of more things that can be done. So either, guys, before you start your preparation or after you're done with your preparation as such, guys, you can go through this either to get an idea of the overall chapter or to quickly revise the entire topic. The next concept beta under lean system is cellular manufacturing, guys, or one piece flow production system, guys. I have spoken about this as a part of just in time system. Mere hisab se beta, they should not be giving this as a separate topic. They should combine this with just in time, because cellular manufacturing, guys, is all about it's a subset of just in time. It's a subset of just in time, guys. Under cellular manufacturing, guys, if you go through our notes as such, but I've given a diagram as to how cellular manufacturing works. A detailed picture is given there better. So instead of having separate departments, guys, like you have department A which manufactures particular aspect, department B as such, guys, department C, department D. What I'm trying to tell you better here is, let us have machine A, machine B, machine C, machine D, machine E. From start to scratch, are we able to integrate the operations as such better and put them in a U-shaped format so that it takes lesser time for people to move from one equipment to other equipment, and 1 or 2 employees will be able to handle all the operations from the beginning till the end, so that if there are any defects, they will be identified. You will be able to handle those defects at an early stage, and your resources, undoubtedly wastage of resources will reduce. That is cellular manufacturing. Undoubtedly beta, these employees should be skilled because they should be trained to handle a multitude of machines. One of the key elements of just in time. That is cellular manufacturing as such beta. Move as quickly as possible, make variety of similar products, make as little waste as possible. This is U-shaped design is given beta. The benefits in this beta is flexibility in operations, guys. You can shift from one product line to the other product line quickly as such beta. These are smaller machines, smaller setup times, smaller production runs. Easier to incorporate small changes. Easier to incorporate small changes, guys. You want to shift from design A to design B. Variety of product scaling reduces flow time, flow distance. Obviously, the time from one machine to the other time is reduced. The distances between machines are reduced. Limitations kya hai beta? If there's a drastic change in the product line beta that requires your entire flow to be changed, it will be very difficult to be incorporated. Major changes beta, and if there is an increase in demand requiring changes in cell, again that would be difficult. Changes in flow beta can be costly. This is about cellular manufacturing. There can be certain difficulties in you be able to creating those flows, guys. There can be difficulties beta in creating flows. There can be certain elements beta that you will not be able to incorporate in the manufacturing flow. What if the packing machine, guys, is very, very big, and you do not actually have smaller packing machines. You do not actually have smaller packing machines. Now, obviously, in that flow beta, you will not have that packing machine. Yes or no? So there can be exceptional elements as such, guys. There can be bottleneck machines or parts, guys. ऐसे flows के लिए beta, what if machine B is a bottleneck resource? उतने नहीं है अपने पास. Machine location, relocation as such, guys. You want to locate from one place to other place, all of that beta will be problematic. Cell load variation as such, guys. A particular cell say can handle 1000 units. Now you want to change that to 5000 units. It might become very difficult. Cell reconfiguration. obviously beta dynamic, something that requires a lot of changes. इतना याद रखना बेटा, cellular manufacturing works if there are not much changes to demand, not much changes to your product line, minor changes here and there. Cellular manufacturing would work amazingly well. And if you have smaller machines, automated machines for as a replacement for larger machines possible, only then cellular manufacturing would be successful. Okay guys, the next concept beta here is Six Sigma. This is actually a statistical concept guys, incorporated for strategic cost management. स्टैटिस्टिक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट है. सिक्स सिग्मा इज लिटरली सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन. सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन. It is an acceptable fact guys that everything in the world can have minor deviations as such guys. I gave examples of weighing machines in the class guys. Even a weighing machine guys may not be 100% accurate. There can be a little variation to the extent of 1 milligram, variation to the extent of 10 milligrams, 1 gram, whatever it is as such guys. Six Sigma says there is an acceptable level, there's an acceptable limit for variations as such guys. Ensure as such guys that only 3.4 parts out of every 1 million parts manufactured falls outside this acceptable range. Ensure that there are only 3.4 defects manufactured out of every 1 million components manufactured. That is Six Sigma. Say guys, this is the existing graph of a company. This is the existing graph of a company as such beta. ये existing graph में बेटा say acceptable limit beta is 49.5 to 50.5. Acceptable limit is 49.5 to 50.5. But this acceptable limit beta covers a very small area. A large number of components manufactured are outside this limits. A large number of components manufactured are either less than 49.5 kgs or more than 50.5 kgs. So Six Sigma says work on it. Ensure that a majority of the cases, 99.99996%, 66% beta is coming into this category of 49. to 59.5. This is Six Sigma guys, six standard deviation. Are we understanding guys? Six Sigma beta, six standard deviation. So the objective of Six Sigma again beta is quality improvement. Quality improvement as such guys, eliminate defects in every aspect that affects customer satisfaction. Primary focus is undoubtedly customer satisfaction. Reduce the number of defects that are manufactured. Reduce the number of defects that are manufactured. Guys practically beta Six Sigma तक जाना बहुत मुश्किल होता है बेटा for every organization. People might be happy with 5 Sigma, 4 Sigma. Yes, you have variants guys, 5 Sigma, 4 Sigma, 3 Sigma. 1 Sigma beta is way too much. It's like those cheap Chinese products beta which have a lot of quality issues. 1 Sigma nahi, people might be happy with 5 Sigma also, depending on the nature of the product. So customer satisfaction, goal for perfection, improving the processes, you have to be proactive. To implement Six Sigma guys, Six Sigma is implemented in service industries also guys. I've spoken to my cousin guys, is Six Sigma black belt बोलता है अपने आप को वो. Six Sigma black belt as such guys. हाँ. Implementation methodology as such guys, there are two techniques beta, DMA IC, DMA DV. Six Sigma was covered as a part of CA IPCC beta back then, not a part of CA new syllabus, CA intermediate, IPCC में था ये. So anyways beta, DMA IC guys and DMA DV. What is DMA IC? What is DMA IC as such guys? D stands for define what is the problem, what is the project goal. मतलब जो भी तुम लोग कर रहे हो उसका goal क्या है, and what is the requirement of the customer. Define first. Define the problem being faced at present. Define what are the goals of the project. Define what are the customer requirements. M stands for beta here is measure what is the existing process. Measure what is the existing process beta to determine the current performance. What is the performance at present? ठीक है, you are facing a problem. What is the current performance? Customers come and tell us that your systems are frequently shutting. Customers tell us that your net banking is frequently shutting. So you will measure the current performance. It is working for only 16 hours a day. It is working for only 15 hours a day, or only out of every 10 times it is working efficiently. Analyze the existing process. Know what are the reasons as such guys for those defects. Know what are the reasons. तुम लोग सोचोगे सर ये सब तो हमारे को भी आता है. बेटा Six Sigma is not telling you do this and you will get your result. Six Sigma says follow this pathway. Try to gather information in this manner. Try to address the issue in this manner, and then you will get your solution. ठीक है? These are all methodologies as such बेटा. So analyze the existing process better, know what are all the difficulties in the existing process, and then comes I, improvise. Improvise the existing process by eliminating all the problems that you have seen better. Root cause identification is very important here. See why are the problems being arising as such guys, so that you can identify them and you can address them. Finally beta is DMA IC में beta control the whatever is the improvised process beta, you should be able to maintain that. So you should understand beta that DMA IC is all about targeting an existing process, existing defect, existing product, anything as such guys. Existing That is DMA IC. Define the problem, measure the existing process, know the current performances, and then beta A stands for analyze the existing processes, guys, to know what are the defects. I beta is improvise by targeting the root cause of the problem, guys, and C control, ensure beta that you are able to maintain the improvised process. Now DMA IC beta can be used only in respect of an existing product or existing product that needs to be improvised. If it's a new product or new process, DMA DV. If it's a new product or a new process, DMA DV आएगा बेटा. A single process is to be altered as such, guys. If multiple processes are to be altered, guys, again it is better to implement DMA DV because you will want to find a replacement for that. Technology is stable. If the technologies are continuously changing, guys, by the time you implement this, the technology must have changed already. By the time you implement this DMA IC as such beta, the technology must have changed already, requiring you to again carry out the process. Consumer behaviors are constant. If the consumer's behaviors beta and competitors' actions are not constant, by the time you implement this, again dynamic business environment, you will have to go through the entire process again. So that is DMA IC. Applicability, existing product, existing process where things are not changing much. DMA DV beta is in respect of a new product or a new process, or you have already performed DMA IC that did not give you the required solution, so you want to undertake DMA DV to improvise the performance. DMA DV beta, again first D stands for define the project goal and customer requirements, whatever are the customer deliverables as such, guys. यहाँ पे define problem नहीं होगा because you're talking about a new thing. Measure and determine customer needs and satisfactions. DMA DV, you will have to remember all the side headings no matter what happens. Define project goals and customer deliverables, guys. Measure and determine what are the customer needs and specifications. Analyze what are all the options available as such, guys. Design a detailed process. Verify the new process. Define the project requirements as such, guys, and then measure what are the exact needs of the customers, specify them, see what are all the options available beta, design the most suitable option, and then verify, guys, the new process. Verify the new process. That is DMA DV. आप पूरे साइड हेडिंग्स याद रखना है, याद रखो बेटा वापस सिक्स सिग्मा में. टू मेथोडोलॉजीज, DMA IC, DMA DV. Applicability of DMA DV, guys. DMA DV beta is applicable as I said in respect of a new product or a new process, or you've already performed DMA IC. Multiple process needs to be altered. The consumer behavior, technologies are all continuously changing. So based on those only beta, you will also know what are the differences between DMA IC and DMA DV. DMA IC is about improving the capability as such, guys. DMA DV beta is about improving the capacity. Improving the capacity as such, guys. जैसे I have 24 hours in a day, let me utilize those 24 hours effectively. DMA IC. Can I increase this 24 hours to 26 hours? DMA DV. Yes or no? So one is increasing capability, the other one is increasing capacity as such, guys. Under DMA IC, guys, you can quantify the benefits. Under DMA DV beta, it might be difficult to quantify benefits because those are long term in nature. Limitations of Six Sigma beta is that it focuses extensively on quality. It focuses extensively on quality as such, guys. You cannot always imply Six Sigma for every aspect beta. You cannot say कि हर चीज में perfection चाहिए, हर चीज में we want only 3.4 defects. नहीं होता है बेटा. That is not possible. And there might be too many barriers for implementation of Six Sigma. You might actually have too many barriers, guys, for implementation of Six Sigma. I hope again beta this aspect is clear. याद रखना बेटा, there are a lot of practical aspects also as such, guys. So do not forget that you will have to still solve questions on just in time. You will still have to solve questions on overall equipment effectiveness. You will still have to go through the entire notes. You will have to remember certain aspects as such, guys, for the examination so that you are able to score easily 85 plus in the exam. So that was about lean system, guys. In just a matter of 47 minutes, we are done with the entire lean system. Now we have process innovation, guys, and business process reengineering. Very small concept beta. Process innovation ka beta classic example that is given in ICI study material beta is also Ford company implementing moving assembly line. Moving assembly line as such beta which drastically reduced the production time. इसको बोलते हैं process innovation beta is implementation of a new or a significantly improved process. It is implementation of a new, guys, or simply significantly improved process. All together beta कुछ नया manufacturing process ला रहे हो, delivery method ला रहे हो, guys, support system ला रहे हो. That is process innovation, guys. An example for process innovation as such, guys, was the Ford assembly line. Guys. ठीक है, like how, guys, Amazon is automating their warehouses as such, guys. For the first time that they must have implemented is again process innovation, guys. Innovation, guys, something new beta, something new. Delivery method, production method, support services. That is process innovation. Business process re-engineering, guys. If you try to recollect, we discussed about what Bajaj said as such, guys, about this. When someone questioned him about why don't you change your motorcycle business, why don't you enter into new segments, I said, how about Sachin Tendulkar bowling and not batting? If you're trying to recollect those examples. Anyways, business process re-engineering beta is fundamental rethinking of what are you doing, why are you doing, and why are you doing it the way that you're doing it. It's like questioning everything from scratch, guys. Someone tells us as such, beta, that you're not supposed to sleep at 6 o'clock in the evening. It is not the right time to sleep. Now you're questioning, why are we following all of this? Is it important to follow all of this? What is the logic behind it? So that is beta BPR, business process re-engineering, guys. It is more about, modifying the existing process for drastic improvements, modifying the existing processes better for drastic improvements, for dramatic improvements. So it is fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes. One famous author said better, there is not so much radical also better, because process innovation is radical thing better. Process innovation says altogether a new thing. So business process engineering better is more or less about the existing processes, modifying the existing processes for dramatic improvements. So fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvements in critical contemporary measures of performance such as cost, quality, service and speed. You should be able to reduce the cost, or you should be able to improve the quality. You should be able to manufacture the product at a quicker pace. There are 4 important components better here in the definition. Fundamental rethinking, radical redesign, achieving dramatic improvements. It should focus on end-to-end business processes. End-to-end business processes. When you say fundamental rethinking as such, beta, it is about what do we do, why do we do it the way that we are doing it. That's what I said better. Why are we doing this? Why is that particular part being manufactured only in this way? Why is it being sent from machine A to machine B only? Why not from this to this? So that is fundamental rethinking. Radical redesign better, with a fresh state of mind as such, guys. See if you can redesign the entire process. And it should result in dramatic improvements. We are not looking at minor improvements as what we are talking about, what we talk under Kaizen costing. Here beta, it should result in dramatic improvements, drastic improvements as such, guys. Re-engineering should focus on end-to-end business process. You should not just look at one particular activity and try to redesign one particular activity. Only if you take from start till the end process as such, guys, you will be able to achieve those dramatic improvements. Start se leke end tak beta sab kuch padho and the chain, guys. Only then you will know whether there is a dramatic improvement possible or not. Principles of business process re-engineering, guys. ये 4 components याद रखना. Now, principles of business process re-engineering. Organize around outcomes, not against task. What is that you want out of this? Please think about that. Not about why are you performing this. What is that you want is more important, better, so that when you think about that, you will be able to change your task, or you will be able to improvise your task. Whoever needs the result of a particular process as such, guys, let them perform the process. Let them perform the process as such, guys, so that there's a scope for improvement, so that they know how things can be changed. Integrate the processing of information into work process that produces the information. This particular department is giving us this information, beta, they should only process that information. Uska analysis, let that department only do, beta, so that they know what is going wrong, what is happening. Usually aisa hota hai, beta, that all the information is collected at one place and analyzed separately. Nahi, let them only analyze the entire information. Treat geographically dispersed resources as though they were centralized. Centralized purchase department, centralized procurement department, design department, like that better. Line parallel activities instead of integrating their results. I am manufacturing component A, he is manufacturing component B, guys. Both of them will meet in the end, and then we will combine these 2 products to manufacture other product. What if this fellow is facing difficulty and this fellow does not know till he reaches the finish point? This fellow has no idea that this fellow is facing problem, but he will get to know only when they reach the finish point. Yes or no? Instead, if you are lining parallel activities, there is simultaneous exchange of information simultaneously here, and not just till the end point. They will know things better. That is line parallel activities instead of integrating their results. Put the decision point where the work is performed and build controls in the process as such, guys. Whoever is performing the work as such, guys, he should also be in a position to take decisions. That is where you improvise as such, guys. Capture information only once. There should not be repetition of work as such, better. So that is about the key processes as such, guys. Stages of BPR, better. We have process identification, process rationalization, process redesign, process reassembly. Identify the processes, rationalize them, redesign them, and then reassemble those processes. Nevertheless, beta, this is the only thing covered under the entire chapter, guys. I hope you have understood all of this as such, guys. Do not forget, you will have to keep revising properly as such, beta. Study properly, and whatever doubts that you have as such, guys, you can always ask me. You know how to ask, how to approach me as such, beta, through Telegram or through WhatsApp as such, guys. I'll be always more than happy to clear all your doubts. That's it for now, guys. Thank you, and I will be uploading the next video on the next chapter, beta, your cost management techniques, very soon.